All right, seasonal shake coming out this week. Some of you guys are new to this, and some of you guys have been around. Seasonal shake weeks are a great week to message, and you'll get some insight on this on the Global Exec calls during the week. But it is the perfect time to be messaging your product users and boost their order baskets and create lots and lots of hype. It's a great week for rank advancements with teams, where if you've been really close to a 5-cycle bonus, this can totally throw your cycles up to 5-cycle, or to 1-star, or to 2-star, or to 3-star. And I'm not seeing many faces. I see Allie's pretty face, and I see Dee's pretty face, and I see Jennifer's pretty face, but I don't see anybody else's. So feel free to show your face. There's Becky. Guys, it's totally worth taking 5 or 10 minutes to focus on this, and I'm sure some other leaders can speak to this. It's how I hit 3-star the first time. I think Mocha put me to 4-star. So, people go crazy with a brand new release, like the cake one, the birthday cake one that came out, huge for lots of people. That's all I'm going to say about that. Also, I am moving this week. So if I seem like I've been a little in and out, I have. If I seem like I'm going to be a little in and out this week, I will. So bear with me as we move a family of 5 from one house to another in the middle of the school year. So just bear with me. And you may have to text me twice. If I don't respond, it might get totally buried in my feed. Just text me again. I'm not trying to ignore you. I'm not trying to be rude. Okay. That is it for my general housekeeping. Reminder of the opportunity overviews on Tuesdays and Wednesday nights. So make sure you're inviting your prospects to take a listen and continuing to jump on and learn yourself. Now, real quickly, wanted to pause and see who had any shout outs that they wanted to give to their teams. We do this every week on Sunday nights. I know for me, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to Jen Bartram and to Karam. Actually, you guys leveraged me in some 3-way calls this week that were awesome. So just keep that up. Keep up the request for 3-way calls. That's the validation that you get from your upline, and it helps create your business. You shouldn't be expected to be an expert today. Dawn Turner, I see your beautiful face. She's been here for 4 years, and she's requesting some support on a prospect, right? So we do this all the time. Okay. The last thing I want to share with you guys, because it just warms my heart, I'm going to share with you a little story, and then I'm going to turn it over to our incredible speakers. Our keynote speakers for today are just going to share they were our top enrollers last month. So you guys probably want to hear what they've been doing that's made them so successful. And so we're going to talk about that this evening. But before I do that, let me take a step back. I gave my own little shout outs. Does anybody have any team shout outs, recognition that they want to give? I'm going to turn it over to Dawn Turner. I know you guys had an awesome event this week. So go ahead.
Absolutely. I just want a huge shout out to Terry for opening her home, and she's on fire. She has fired me up. I cannot even tell you her just willingness to learn and to get out there and just do the damn thing. So good for you. Now we have set up for another one, and we're just going to keep this going, making new friends and just sharing this beautiful gift. Thank you,
Awesome.
Terry.
And it just takes
shout out, of course, to Melissa and Jen. Yes.
You just have to get out there.
Thank you guys for helping me.
Absolutely. It's awesome. And that's what happens is you get momentum. You get started and it snowballs. So I'm excited for you guys. Any other shout outs for the team? Jen Bartram, go for it.
I have, like, you're doing your Future Isogenics. We have a team. I think there's 8 of us. We're doing it too. And we're having a ball. Huge support. Dee, obviously she's going to speak. She's on fire. Jenny's on fire. I have a few that are ready to light the fire. So they're so good. So anyway, they've been staying connected, and we've actually been having Zoom calls right after your calls on Wednesday. So we've been having fun with this. So anyway, they're just rocking. I'm loving them. They're doing
incredible. Awesome. And I am loving all the goal setting. You guys are putting it out there and you're owning it. I am like so flabbergasted at how many of you have owned this and have sent me your goals and you're taking this seriously and you're eating the elephant one bite at a time. And I just love looking through your financial and your physical goals and then really setting a deadline for what your goals are for the next step in your business. And you guys, I just love the commitment, and you're owning this business like the business it truly is. So I couldn't agree with you more, Jennifer. Any other shout outs for the team before I share with you kind of a soppy story that relates to this business, and then I'm going to turn it over to our speakers. All right. So I want to share with you guys a personal story today that really relates to this business, really relates to this business. And I almost can't even not get teary eyed and talk about it. So, and yes, I'm using my 7-year-old son as an analogy to this business, but it was such an incredible thing to see unfold today. And it reminded me of my journey with Isagenix and where many of you are today. And so we joined a new swim club, and my son he's been taking some swim lessons, but he's never swam more than a couple of feet in a pool in an Aqua Tots kind of program where he's learned how to keep himself afloat. He's learned basic strokes, but he's never actually swam, I don't know what the word is, a quarter of a length of a pool ever. He's just done, maybe 10 strokes, and that's it. But there's this junior club that he could join if he could swim not only the length of the pool, but touch that end of the pool and turn around and swim all the way back. And that included swimming through the deep end, which although he has the strokes down, he's never actually swam in the deep end of a pool, ever. Okay. So today I'm like, buddy, you can do this. You know the strokes. You've learned how to swim. You've totally got this. And he was so freaked out when he first got in the pool and he saw how far it was from the swim lane from one end all the way to the other. And at first he was like, Mom, there is no way I can swim all the way to that side of the pool in the deep end. It's deep. What if I stop swimming? I'll drown. So we started talking and I'm like, buddy, you know the strokes. You've just got to go one stroke at a time and we'll get you there. You can make it. And deep down in my heart, I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but I thought it was a really incredible experience for him either way. The child needs to be humbled because he's really smart and he gets everything right at school. I'm like, occasionally you need to suck at something, right? So, but I really wanted him to succeed too, but I wanted it to be a struggle, right? And I just believed in him, and he didn't believe in himself. He sort of did. He had a little bit of confidence, but he was slightly terrified. And I'm like, come on, buddy, one stroke at a time. It's the same movements that you've learned in swim. Kid gets in the pool. I'm standing at the lane beside him. Okay. And he starts his freestyle and it's sloppy, but he's going and he's splashing water everywhere, right? He gets about a quarter the length of the pool and he starts looking around and he's getting tired. And I'm just yelling. I'm like, you're almost halfway. You can do this, buddy. Just one more stroke. Just one more stroke. And all it was one stroke after another. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? He gets the halfway point and he starts to look around and you can tell he's like, oh my God, I've already swam halfway the length of the pool, but he's exhausted. He looks at me, he looks at the coach. He's like, I'm tired. The coach is like, but you've got the stroke down. She can tell he can swim. He's got this. He's just whooped because he's not in shape, right? So he keeps going and he keeps going. Before you know it, he's at the 3/4 of the length of the pool. He gets to the end and he's able to hold on for a minute and catch his breath. And when he got to the end, he was like, I can't go back. I cannot go back. I'm so tired. And we're both like, yes, you can. You just swim the entire length of the pool. You can do this. You can totally do this. And he looks at us, catches his breath, and because we believed in him, he turned around with his little body and he starts swimming again. And it's like so far from one end of the pool to the other for this tiny little 7-year-old. And he just starts going. And the coach says, just do freestyle halfway there. When you get to the halfway point, you can roll over on your back and do backstroke. So you guys are getting the gist of the story, but at any moment, the kid could have just stopped. He was so tired, right? And I'm just yelling it in a positive way. I'm not like the screaming crazy parent, but I'm just enthusiastic that you've got this, right? And he gets all the way to the end of the pool. A little kid swims 2 lengths of a pool, and he's never done it before, ever. Never swam more than 5 or 6 feet at one time. the point of my story is it's like your journey with Isagenix, right? Like when you first get in, you're like, oh my God, I love these products, but I don't know how I could share them with 2 people, right? And then you share with 2 people and you're like, okay, but I don't know how in the world I can get to consultant. I am like terrified to be teaching other people how to do this. And then you do it. And then you look at the director and executive like drawing and you're like, oh my God, it's impossible. It's like my son looking the full length of the swimming lane and like, I can't do this. And the reality is, yes, you can. It's one enrollment at a time. It's one reach out at a time. The difference is he kept going. He kept going. He never stopped. And he also had an incredible leader or coach beside him believing in him when he didn't believe in himself. And I think that's what you have in this team with the global exec team, with your direct upline is that, and I had this with Jessica and I had it with Amanda. You know, when I felt like I just couldn't get to the next space, they knew I could, just like I know you can. And so I just was like so warm and fuzzy seeing this little 7-year-old swim the 2 lengths of the pool and seeing his excitement and how proud he was. And I envision some of you guys who are striving for executive and thinking sometimes that you can't swim the length of the pool, that you can't get there. And all I can see is you at the end hitting executive with this huge smile on your face because all you did is you did the damn thing. You did it every day and you didn't stop. And that's what got him to the other length of the pool. He never stopped. We just can't stop. We just have to keep going, keep connecting, right? Keep asking people to take a look. Keep stumbling on your words. You're never going to get good at it unless you're a blubbering mess at first. We want to be perfect, but you just have to practice. His freestyle looked atrocious, but he got to the length of the pool and made the swim team so that by the end of the summer, he will have a beautiful freestyle. Okay. All right. That's my soapbox. I had to share because it was just all warm and fuzzy today experiencing that. So, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to, Becky had an in-home too. You had an in-home? Somebody saying, yay.
Yes, I did.
Thanks for a quick minute. Share with us for a quick minute.
Yeah, Jennifer came down. We had one person in the afternoon and one person in the evening. Mm-hmm. So I thank Jennifer for coming down, helping show me how to do all this stuff and do it. The one that was in the evening, she just texted me, and she's going to probably do the premium pack tomorrow night.
Awesome.
So the other one had graduation stuff going on, but I had a couple people who couldn't come. So I'm going to get with them this week. So hopefully I can get 2 signed up this week.
You know, having the in-homes is all about the invite, not about who shows up. Like,
right, it is.
So many in-homes where like 1 or no people showed up, and it still generated business for me because people would say, oh, I couldn't make it. And I'm like, oh, no problem. When would you like to connect? And then you follow up with them anyway, right?
Right. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. That's exciting. Okay. That's awesome, guys. The Get Leadership is blowing up my phone right now. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I think we have a new guest speaker, like new leadership that's speaking this week, which is kind of exciting. Jen Talwick. Yay. Talwinick. I always say it wrong. All right. So, guys, I highlighted 3 top sponsors in my downline in April. They crushed enrollments. Some are brand new and some have been around for a while. And so I think that it's really important that you hear from the people who are doing the do and are being very successful. And so I'm going to turn it over to Allie Wright first because I'm not sure what she has planned after this call. But Allie Wright has been on the team for 2 or 3 years, right, Allie? Allie she's just been stellar. She led our comp call last Friday on the global exec team. That's her second showcase of the comp on the Get team, I believe. She's just been an incredible leader with the Residual Rockstars team, which some of you are familiar with, some of you are part of, some of you have come along afterwards. But she's brilliant and she's authentic. And she's been on fire this past month. And I love her story about how it's all come together because it didn't happen overnight. And so I really want you guys to hear from her first. And Allie, I'm just going to turn it over to you to just share with everybody how your 4 enrollments last month manifested for everybody. Some of these folks are like brand spanking new.
Hi.
Yay.
So generally I start by telling my 30-second story, but I'm going to give you like a 10-second story. So before Isagenix, I was ridiculously tired all of the time. And I'm a nurse, and so I'd come home after a 12-hour shift and just fall asleep. I noticed a huge shift in a coworker, and I wanted what she had, so I went for it. After putting the products in my body, I knew that I felt amazing, and I wanted to share it with other people, but I didn't really know how. So my enrolling sponsor actually got me to an event, and that's how I started building the business. So that was probably I'm about to come up on my 3-year ISA anniversary, but I did not start sharing right away. It was, I think, 6 months, maybe December, before I ever enrolled my first customer, and I hit consultant like January 1st or something like that the next year. So for me, like, I've been sending, talking to people for 2.5 years now, and some of the people are the same people. None of the people that I enrolled last month, or even the last like several enrollments, were on the spot enrollments. Actually, I think I did tell Melissa one of them was an on the spot enrollment. However, I had messaged her previously about the keto diet, because she had said that she was posted something on social media, and I reached out to her and I was like, hey, I don't know if you're like why you're doing the keto diet, but if you're looking for weight loss, there's a better way. And she was like, I'm really not interested right now. I was like, okay, cool. But I kept posting, she kept seeing it, and I never even followed up with her. I had other like Isagenix follow-ups, because to me, following up is not always like, hey, we have free enrollment this week, or hey, we have a new seasonal shake release. Like, a follow-up is, hey, happy birthday, I hope you have a fantastic day, or hey, I saw your post on Facebook that you're looking for somewhere to eat dinner. This is a place that I just tried, and so those are all still touches, and sending a message like that always puts you back in their newsfeed. So you're going to they'll start to see your stuff, and then you have to be consistently posting. Anyways, this girl is a friend or acquaintance from high school, and she reached out and she was like, hey, do you still sell those shakes? And I was like, yeah, girl, sure do. And so she came on with just shakes. And then I had another girl who was also just shakes, and I'd been talking to her. She was also a keto person, and when I reached out to her, I was asking questions, because I don't ever like to just be like, hey, I do Isagenix, don't you want to do it? Because that to me is an icky message that I never want to receive from anybody. So I messaged her and I was like, hey girl, I saw your post about keto. Why keto? Like, what's up with that? And I just told her, like, after she, said her reasoning, I said, as a nurse and a healthcare professional, I'm really concerned about how that may affect your body. And she never messaged me back. And so I ended up like following up with her another time, and she was like, no, I can't do it right now. And then we had one of those weeks where it was like free enrollment and free shipping. And I was like, hey, you might love this savings. And she was like, okay, well, like, how much is it going to cost? And we talked a little bit. Anyways, she also signed up with some shakes. And then actually I had 5 last month. And then my other 3 were all in the same week. And it was, again, another promotion week, free shipping, free membership. And it was just people that I was just like, hey, by the way, we have this going on this week. Are you ready? Or if not, that's okay. But it was all people, like, one of which I've been friends with for over a year now. She's in my small group Bible study at church. And she finally signed up, one of which is my travel agent. And we talked to him and like giving him an e-shot and that kind of stuff. And he was like, I'll do it after the holidays. And yeah, he just did it last month. So, and I'm trying to think who the other one was. Oh, another one was actually a customer of mine had shared with this lady, but my customer was not in the right place to take care of this new customer. So I, with her permission, asked her if she was going to follow up or if she wanted me to. And I don't recommend like ever doing the business for somebody else, because that's not duplicatable. Like, let's be real, that's not duplicatable. But because of the circumstances, I asked this person, I was like, hey, are you following up with your people? And she's like, I'm not in a place where I can. And I was like, okay, well, I'll reach out to this lady that we talked to. And when I reached out to her, So like, he was like, absolutely, I want to do this. And so I reached back out to my person and I was like, hey, just so you know, she wants to sign up. Are you okay with me taking care of her? I don't want to take her from you, but I'm also not going to coach her for you. I'll either take her on and coach her, or you can take that on and get the money. And so that's how I got all the enrollments last week. All of them were like multiple follow-ups. So
yeah. So awesome, Allie. So I was taking notes because there's a couple of things, amazing nuggets that you shared. And obviously, clearly one of them is the length of time with follow-ups. And that's something I've been coaching the team to, specifically with a lot of what we're doing on LinkedIn right now, and kind of the life cycle and expectation of when people will actually fall into your organization or lean forward and in, and it takes multiple touches. And so I love that you highlighted that none of these people except for one were like, straight out of the hat. Unless you're brand new to Isagenix, it takes work. And even when you're brand new, it can take work. Sometimes when you're brand new and your hot market is very hot, sometimes you can really start to enroll people quickly on the spot if they're really close friends and family, that type of thing. But really, as professional network marketers, we're networking, and we're networking for the relationship. And that was the other thing I love that you said, Allie, is that you're connecting with people because you want to connect with them. You're not just always saying, hey, we've got free membership. You are, giving them recommendations for restaurants. You're giving them ideas or thanking or wishing them a happy birthday, right? Like, we are professional friend makers that aren't attached to the outcome, right? And so I love what you said about that. And you weren't afraid to proactively reach out to someone who had chosen a specific diet, right? The keto, like you inquired. I mean, you're curious, right? And so I love that you pointed that out. And the other thing, and this is one thing I think you guys really need to think about, is what's going on this week. You reached out to some folks when we had free membership. And, there's a lot of people that we invest a lot of time with. Maybe they watch an overview. Maybe they join a 3-way call. Maybe you spend an hour with them on the phone and then they never pull the trigger, right? But they never tell you they don't want to do it. They just don't get started. And I hope you guys are really organized with those people, because that's like the mass majority of people that you're going to initially network with. And so if you don't organize that list of people that have expressed an interest but haven't pulled the trigger, you are totally missing the boat, because that's the sweet spot of our business. And that's what Allie has done. Is when we have free membership, it's like, let me go back to my list of people I've invested all this time in that have not moved forward yet. And when I reach out, I don't want to be offensive or come across as too aggressive. So I love what you say, Allie, is that, are you ready yet? Hey, just thought of you. We have a promotion right now. Are you ready? If not, that's totally okay. And so I love your approach there. So I hope you guys are taking notes on that, because it's very effective. And I think this week with the seasonal shake is a great time to reach out to people who've been on the fence. Hey, know you've been on the fence about it. We've got this brand new shake. Don't know if it would, suit your taste to get started, whatever, right? Awesome. So thank you. And other thing I really appreciate that you highlighted, Allie, is just around support of your downline and when they are and aren't ready to enroll other people, because it is a sticky place to be. But I have done the same thing with my customers, and I have just said they'll bring someone to me and say, hey, can you enroll this person for me? I'm not sure what to do. I have a heart-to-heart with them and say, are you ready to be a business builder? Are you ready to support this person the way I've supported you? Are you ready to coach them and show them the tools? Or are you going to be deflecting all of that to me? Because if you're going to be deflecting it all to me, then I want to personally enroll them. Because if they fly to exec, I want selfishly, I want the match cycles if I'm doing all the work, right? I mean, that's just the reality. They're going to be my organization anyway, and I'm going to support them, but it's only fair. But if I'm going to be doing all the coaching, then I'm going to personally enroll them. And that's a fair conversation to have with people. And sometimes I don't nudge them to be like, oh no, I want them and I'm going to learn this business. Or they're going to say, no, you're right, I'm not ready for this, if you could enroll them. And usually you give them like a canister of shake or box of bars or something as a thank you for the enrollment, right? So cool. Thank you, Allie. It was awesome to see you tonight, and I really appreciate your insight.
And just so everybody knows, we had field day stuff at church today, so I'm still covered. I haven't even showered. I have mustard all over my back, and this is chocolate pudding. So if you're wondering what's all over me.
Do you know what I thought it was? I thought it was bruises from CrossFit. Like,
no.
Like weights on your shoulders. She's Diesel, guys. See those guns?
Look at all that.
Oh gosh, it is mustard.
Yes. And chocolate pudding.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
And
I
it's in
love
my
it.
hair.
Oh
So
my
I'm gonna go shower now.
Well, you look cute.
Thanks.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. So going from one extreme to the other. So Allie is tenured. She's an incredible leader, and just cranked in enrollments this past month. I want to shift over to the other end of the spectrum to Mike. Mike's been with our organization. Mike and Diane have been with the organization maybe a month and a half. Mike jumped right in and within a week enrolled his wife. Mike came in on the performance line and then enrolled his wife on the 30-day weight loss system. And since then, he's had a total of 3 enrollments. I mean, he's just really taken off. So, and he and I say he, but Diane has been really the heart of a lot of it with her excitement and her journey with the products. And so they're really working together incredibly as a team. So I want you guys to hear from someone who's brand new, not only, came in on the performance line and is doing this with his wife. So Mike, I'm going to turn it over to you and Diane. If you wouldn't mind just highlighting for us what's made you successful in the first month and a half going consultant and onwards to manager.
Sure. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Can you see me?
I can see you.
Okay. All right. I'm going to hand the phone over to Diane because she enrolled Arlene, who was our first enrollee. And I really like the way she did it. I think it's more powerful coming from her. So here we go. I'm going to hand this to her.
Okay, I didn't realize it's going to be on camera here, but
That's okay, Arlene. I'm in my pajamas.
yeah.
There's in a side sweaty bun from the pool all day, so you're in good company.
Okay. Well, hello everybody. So Arlene is a colleague of mine, and she's real into working out and everything. And we were on a business trip. And I just started telling her that I had just started Isagenix and how, within just a few days, I was feeling a lot better. And she said, I'd like to hear more about that because I feel like I'm not getting what I need from the stuff that I'm taking now, my workouts and things. She said, I really need the nutrition part. And I said, oh, well, let me tell you about Isagenix. And she was just intrigued from the beginning. So I sent her your video, Melissa, and I said, now watch this. And if you're interested, I can give you more information. So I got her on the Get Free site, talked to her about all the different things I've seen on the ramp effect. And she was just real gung-ho and real interested. So that was really kind of an easy sale. Got her set up on the 30-day basic plan. She's 1 or 2 weeks into it, loves it. She's going to hopefully get her husband signed up. He was waiting to see how it would go with her. And he's actually diabetic. So I said, oh, I think this, won't cure him, but will definitely, I think, make him feel so much better. And so we'll keep our fingers crossed on that one. And then the other one was my sister who lives in Michigan. And I just told her, after the first week I had lost like 6.5 pounds, I'm like, hey, check this out, and just was telling her about it. She's like, oh, I got to get on that. So she wanted to do the 9-day cleanse. So she ordered that right off the bat and she's loving it. So hopefully I can just keep her on, if nothing else, the shakes and vitamins, but I'm pretty sure she'll stick with it. And I've reached out to some other people at work. So it's just like the other lady was talking about, you have to kind of every few days or depending on people, maybe every week or so, just kind of reaching out again. Hey, have you had time to watch the video? Have you had time to go look at the website? And, it's hard to get people to kind of motivate, but if you just keep talking to them about them and telling them your results, I'm really kind of waiting until I get through my first 30 days to say, hey, I've lost this many inches. I feel great. I've already gone down 1 pant size. And for the people who are trying to lose weight, that's just like, oh, that's awesome. But, I really emphasize more, Mike and I are more about the nutrition, yeah, it's great. You can lose weight. You can lose weight on 100 million different things that are out there, but they don't have this nutrition. They don't have the clean protein. They don't have, just the science to back it up. And it's it's really more about educating people on the nutrition part first, and then all the great benefits that come with it, the weight loss, the energy, the feel better, and then the business side of it if you're interested in that. So, I mean, it just kind of all snowballs together.
Oh, I love it, Diane. So I love it. Couple things. You used the tools and you were coachable, right? So the first thing I heard you say up front was, they weren't a week in. You guys weren't even a week in when you made your first enrollment with your coworker. And it was because she was authentically telling her story. She didn't have any dramatic results yet, but she was feeling good. She was really excited about what she was doing. And this is what we need to be coaching our teams to do, is we're not just enrolling people to get started on the products, but showing them our tools and encouraging them to share with others. And so Diane knew from the get-go where the Get Fit page was. She knew how to use the tools in the videos, and she knew where the Ramp Effect Facebook page was. So she's immediately plugging in her prospects and people who are saying, hey, what is that you're doing? And so it's important for us, even with our customers. I actually have a call with a new customer who's interested in the business tomorrow. But even if it was just an open box call and she wasn't interested in the business, I always educate people and say, look, you may not be interested in the business right now, but I still would love for you to eat for free. So as you're walking around this month, going on this health journey, and people ask you about that shake that's in your hand, let me give you a couple of tools and resources that you can send people to. You don't have to know anything about these products. You don't have to know anything about this business, but I'd love for you to at least be able to share with your network. And maybe at the end, we can get your products for free, right? So if you're not showing people a video to use, you don't have to use mine, but a video that talks about the products, so that if someone asks, they can quickly say, hey, just watch this video. I don't know, I'm still learning, but I feel amazing, right? That's number one. Number two, they need a website. People want to go do their homework. So they need to know not only the video, but where can my prospects and family and friends that are asking about this, where can they go learn more? We don't want them to go learn more on the Isagenix webpage where the first thing to do is go look at retail pricing, which is not the pricing they're going to get from a wholesale account. You want to send them to our Get Fit or Get Free webpage where they're going to learn about why we cleanse, the science behind it, the science behind the products, the business opportunity. So you have to educate in the Facebook page, the Ramp Effect product Facebook page. Fold everyone into that. I have people who don't use Facebook, and I'm getting them on there anyway. I think I'm trying to think who recently has been jumping on and had Martin Conway's a great example. I know he's not on tonight, but he had to reactivate his Facebook account to start this business, right? And that was all he was using it for, right? And so people have to have the tools. Diane, I heard you talk about your colleague's husband being diabetic. I want you to know we have a program for diabetics. If you go into the Ramp Effect, the Facebook page, and the search function, you can click on files at the top of the Facebook page. And if you click on files, you can find a whole document on diabetics and some guidance on what they can do with the product.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and I'm happy to coach you guys on that too. Your sister or sister-in-law that's coming in, you got her in on a 9-day. We're learning now that some people aren't going to come in on a huge program, but we can still change their life dramatically. And long-term, she may be committed to a shake and vitamins every single day, the Forever Pack, indefinitely. And the last thing, Diane, that you hit on that I love, and this is again what Allie said, is that you have to make the time to follow up. When you're approaching people about this, it's not a priority to them. They don't know what they're missing. Amanda Ham took 8 months to get me to actually take a look because it wasn't a priority in my life. So it's on you to follow up. It's not on them to respond. And I'm doing this on my coaching, my new team that's racing to exec right now, and telling them, look, if you blast out 100 people on LinkedIn this week, don't expect anybody to write you a message back. You may ask them to take a look at something, and they may say, sure, I'll take a look, but don't sit on your hands waiting for them after you send that video for them to write you back. Because I'm going to tell you within a 99% chance, they're not going to write you back after they watch the video. They might not watch the video. It's on you to write them back and say, hey, Just wondering what your thoughts were on that. I just thought there was aspects of it that would really resonate with you, and I'd love your thoughts and feedback. And they're going to be like, oh crap, I never watched that video, right? It's just not a priority. Doesn't mean they don't like you, doesn't mean they're not interested in it. It just means it's not a priority, right? So it's on us to follow up. We don't have to be obnoxious about it, but you just have to follow up. So Diane, I love that you pointed that out. Okay, awesome. Any final words, Mike or Diane, before we go to our last rock star to round us out tonight?
Yeah, a couple of things. I'm looking at my top 20 list here. We have reached out to a high school friend of ours who is a former high school athlete and is into working out and that sort of thing. And Diane crafted the most beautiful email and sent it to him in much the same format she did with Arlene. You know, talked about, I think she included the video, the Get Free webpage. And so they were texting back and forth. He said, yeah, send me the stuff. So she wrote the email. I'll send you a draft of the email sometime so you can see it. But
yeah, that'd be great.
And so, you know, we both kind of made a mental note. Okay, that was on Thursday. We're going to follow up with him this weekend. We kind of like your 2-2-2 approach. Mm-hmm. Follow up the first time in 2 days. We don't get anywhere, 2 weeks, and then 2 months. So as a matter of fact, we just texted him tonight just to see if he'd had a chance to look at the video. He had a chance to look at the Get Free webpage. What were his thoughts? And we're just waiting now for him to respond. And then with regard to Lori, Diane's sister, we're actually headed to see them on Thursday. We're going to Mackinac Island for a long weekend. And one of our plans is to talk a little bit more about the products. We want to try to transition her from the 9-day, maybe into the 30-day. Is just a thought. We kind of want to use the results that she's gotten from the 9-day as a springboard into the 30-day, or Diane was even talking, what was the other thing you were talking about tonight? Yeah, there were one of the other programs, if you probably said it, I would know what it is. I forget, but anyway, we have a plan to try to get her, you know, to that next step so that she stays with it. And quite honestly, one of the things that we're kind of thinking about is that, like, when Arlene's done with her 30-day, we want her to commit to signing her husband up based on the results she's getting. Mm-hmm. But the one thing we really want to stress to people, no matter what pack they're coming in on, just continue, and this really speaks to the business part, just continue to use the products that you like and find new products that you may want to add, but at a minimum, order your 100 BVs per month, your $150 per month, okay? Because the last thing you want to do, even if you get so busy and you don't tell anybody about it for 6 months, the last thing you want to do is quit using the products and basically forfeit all those BVs. But let's say you get really busy, you know, and you can't tell anybody about it for 6 months. You can't get anybody to buy it. And you sign 2 people up in 6 months. You've continued to use the products. You've got your 100 BVs a month, maybe a little bit more. Guess what? You're going to get a check.
Yep.
All for what? Using the nutrition, the performance line, you know, the weight loss products, you know, whatever it is you're using, all for using those products by improving your quality of life. You know, that's really the minimum commitment.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And especially if you're going to be a part of the Dodsworth team, because they're blowing up, right? That's exciting.
Hopefully, yeah. This is the start of
no, things. I love this. I love this. So guys, this is like new perspective from brand new people, right? And so I love it. And I love the energy, and I love what you guys are doing. And definitely share with me the email so we can share it with the rest of the team. So thanks, guys. Well, now we're going to turn it over to another rock star who totally crushed enrollments last month. And it seems as though maybe your family's gotten pretty engaged too, Dee, from the looks of it. But Dee joined us a little while ago. She's not been around as long as Allie, but she's not as new as Mike. And so she's great perspective, kind of newer in the business, but not brand new. So Dee, would love to hear from you over the next couple of minutes. what made you so successful last month, and your team's just on fire. So share with us.
Well, I've been using the product since last June, I believe.
Okay.
And I remember having the conversation with Jen. I said, after about a month, I was like, I love this stuff, but I'm not selling it. So just, I'm not going to do that. So just mark me off that list. But if anyone wants a recommendation, send them to me and I'll do that for you. And she kept inviting me to events, and I did end up, like my son was a big weightlifter kind of thing. So he was using the products as protein shakes. My mother-in-law was using it for health. That's a story unto itself, but so she kept inviting me to events, and finally, and I was watching her be successful with it. I was watching her go to Nashville and seeing the lives, and I'm like, oh, that does look like fun. And so she got me to commit to going to Charlotte with her like 3 months before we went. And and honestly, I had been really backwards about telling anyone I was even using it. And so we get there, and I'm thinking, oh, this would be a fun girls trip, but that's it. That's all I'm thinking. And I took 9 pages of notes. Yeah. I was blown away from like the very first speaker, and started following these people like immediately. And I mean, I might be hard-headed, but I'm not stupid. So I
love it.
I came home, and in that Charlotte training with the Cepedas, which they're incredible. I actually did a 30-second commercial and set some goals, and so it was a great session. And I mean, it was so good that by the time I was done, I was like, oh my gosh, it's 5 o'clock, and I feel like we've only been in here like 2 hours. And there was 2 days like that. And then we had a car ride home with like 4 of my business builder partners, who we just continued to like brainstorm and learn from each other. So I got home, and I told my family, and they all thought I was crazy, and which is not unusual. So, but I did everything wrong. Like, I was listening to the call last week, and all those things you mentioned, I did all those things wrong. So some of the things that I did wrong were, I kind of pigeonholed users. Like, I was only targeting weight loss people, and I was only targeting like people who look like me, people who had, 30 pounds to lose or more, people who were athletic, or, so I was already making up their mind for them. So I, after kind of listening to the training, and then one of our team members told me about the Isagenix podcast, and I basically consumed all of those multiple times, and really went and did my homework and looked at the history. And so I'm an engineer by education and work, so I have to know all the answers, right? So that is wrong, because I didn't know any of the answers. So don't really believe that about yourself, because like I said, I still did everything wrong. But so some of the things that I'm really doing right are, I'm an influencer. As much as I didn't really want to, I mean, like, I wouldn't have put that label on myself before, but I am an influencer. I've always coached kids. I've always kept my Facebook really super positive and motivational. So I have a ton of followers who are following me about health and wellness and nutrition. So I kind of played with that. I'm a seed planter. So, Zoe, I can't remember Zoe's last name, but I could look her up on Instagram in like 3 seconds. Zoe had spoke at Charlotte. One of the things she said was, if you talk to 10 people, you might get 1 enrollment out of that. So you need to talk to lots of people. That means like, the guard at the plant you work at, the mom who, seems like you probably don't have anything else in common with, just don't feel like it's just those certain people that are on maybe your top 10 list or whatever. Just keep going, because everyone can use this. I was in sales. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing to think back, but I did technical sales for like 7 years, but that's kind of a lifetime ago, or it feels like it. It's almost 20 years ago. But so I went back to that kind of some of that mindset. And so I started talking to people about the things that work for me, like the health portion. So my mom is signed up, and she is also a rebel like myself. So we're not going to do anything anyone tells us to do. But if we get there on our own, if we see ourselves in using it, then that's different. So I kind of went with that. So I got my mom signed up. I started to leverage off of her, like, okay, is there anyone else we can share this with? And she said no. And then within a week, she brought me 2 people, and we signed them up because they trusted her and they knew she'd been successful with it. And so I've really used that. Like I try to, at least once a week, I talk to my customers. And then, at the end of that conversation of, are you having trouble with this, or, hey, this is a great product. You might want to look at this next one. I say, is there anybody else we want to share this with? I can help you with that, because I know that's, you don't have to do that. I can do all of that for you, and we can help get your products paid for. And so I've really leveraged that. Like I said, the fact that, and so I have teenagers in my home, and we have a lot of people that come through here for various things. So anytime someone's at my house, I'm making shakes, and I have these little baby solo cups that my kids think are really cool shot glasses. So I make a half a shake, and we do shots of shake and pass around the different flavors so they can touch and feel it and try it. And I know that that's not a yes today, but eventually either they're going to sign up or they're going to tell someone else, and I'm going to sign them up. So I have lots of products. And I know you probably need to cut me off. So.
No, you are awesome. You are awesome. This is awesome. So Dee, so many great things. Okay. Are you guys hearing how important events are? Are you hearing how important events are? They change everything. You guys, if you haven't gotten your celebration ticket yet, get it. Mike, I know your son's playing ball that Sunday, but you guys could stay for his game and then grab a flight to Nashville after the game on Sunday. We'd hate to miss you. And anyone that you enroll that would be a D, right? That would think, yeah, I love how it's pitched as just a girls trip. I've got a girlfriend I'm trying to do that with right now. She's not even enrolled. She's just a good friend of mine who was telling me the other day she needs a girls trip. She's very well educated and came home to be with her kids, and she's done it for about 1.5 years now. And she's like, I need a trip away from my kids. And I'm like, ta-da, celebration, right? And so I love what you said about that. Pigeonholing, we all do it. When we first get started, we want to stay within our niche. I was recruiting corporate professional mamas. I was recruiting pharmacy professionals because that was my niche. And you can see as I've broadened out who I'm recruiting, I'm bringing in more men, and I'm bringing in all different age groups. I've got a millennial that I've got on the phone tomorrow. And so it's hard not to pigeonhole, because okay, I know it works for this particular niche because it worked for me. When you start sharing it with your family, you get more comfortable, or when you start sharing with people around you that have a different experience, you begin being more comfortable leading with those stories, right? So like Mike and Diane have this great dynamic of like performance and weight loss, right? So like they can confidently lead with both. And so that will accumulate over your business. I love that you said you did everything wrong in the beginning. I go back to Walker and his sloppy freestyle that got him from one end to the other, that got him on the team so that he can continue practicing his sloppy freestyle till it looks nice at the end of the season. And that's part of this business. Like it doesn't matter how pretty it is. You just got to get started. people overanalyze this business so much and they're so afraid to fail that they just don't talk. We have to talk. And I love what you said about to everyone, the security guard, the grocery guy, the Uber man, the guy you check in with at the hotel. My waitress at Luna the other week that's turned out to be a phenomenal connection, right? I even thought about not connecting with her because I was tired and I didn't feel like prospecting, right? So, what else? I love what you said about touching base with your customers. Guys, write this down. Is there anyone else that you would want to share this with? This is a great follow-up. And Mike, I'm thinking about you and Diane with your 2 customers you've recently enrolled. You know, I always have like a call with my folks about 2.5, 3 weeks in before their auto ship sets to kind of coach them on how to manage that. And also revisit the idea of who would you want to share this with? Like, who needs more energy? Let me show you how you can get these products for free. So I love what you said about this, Dee. Golden, like all of this advice. Was it not golden? You guys are brilliant at all levels, just bringing it to the table. So I love it. I love it. I love it. Great call tonight. Any final remarks before we close out?
Yeah, Melissa?
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
I forgot to mention Lauren, our daughter, has expressed an interest in trying the greens.
Yay!
And her husband is starting a Fit Body gym. And so we have big plans for him and Isagenix, but we're kind of going with him slowly.
Of course.
But he's got an issue with, I don't know what it is about the whey protein. I had him try one of my packets and that even upset his stomach. So what we're going to do, our plan is, since she wants to try the greens, we're going to get her signed up and have her order the greens and the dairy-free shakes.
And we can take that offline and talk more about that, Mike.
Yes.
Let's take this week.
Okay.
Sometimes people's guts take some adjustment in the first week or two. I don't know. This is your son-in-law, did you say?
Yes.
So I don't know what is, if he runs gyms, he probably eats pretty clean. But let's take that offline because there's certain reasons people can have an adverse reaction at first that changes over time. So let's talk about that.
Okay.
But I love the whole gateway. It's a gateway product to getting people in and getting them interested. Incredible. All right, guys. Well, hopefully this call has been helpful. If it's all right with you guys, next Sunday, I think we'll skip a call. I know I will be knee deep in boxes and it's Memorial Day weekend. And and the following day is Memorial Day. I know a lot of people have the day off. So let's just take next Sunday off. Take that time to message, follow up, make more connections, and we'll pick back up the following week. We need to give a huge shout out to Jennifer Bartram. Very shortly, she's going to be catching a flight to Phoenix for a very, very, very well-deserved, amazing retreat for 2 days of executive training. She attained executive this past year and held it for a number of weeks, months really, that qualified her for really, really top level leadership training. And maybe on our following call, I'm not sure, you're leaving like in the next couple of days, aren't you, Jennifer? You're on mute.
Yeah, I leave on Tuesday.
Oh, okay. So somebody's graduating next weekend, aren't they?
This week. It's Friday. So I take a red eye. I'm going to miss the dinner, take a red eye back. And
this is why you're executive.
Make it happen.
Just make it happen. Yeah. So I love it. So we'll skip our call next week. And then maybe the following week, you could bring back some nuggets and highlights to your retreat.
I'd be happy to.
Send her some vibes, positive vibes, meet lots of new people, make some connections, and we'll send you off with well wishes on your travel. Hope everybody has a phenomenal week and amazing Memorial Day. I apologize again in advance if I'm slow to respond this week. It's going to be a little crazy, but then it'll all be good. Okay? All right, you guys have a good night, and we'll chat soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.